Indiana County, it's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. And our visit with the IUP Lively Arts this morning, presented by Marcus and Mack, voted Best Law Firm and Best Personal Injury Lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Kristen Koehler, IUP Lively Arts, with us this morning, joined by Chris McComish from S&T Bank. What a pairing this is. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
It's good to have you both with us here today. So, Kristen, why are you walking around with bankers?
I don't know. I'm obviously doing something right with my life.
You go. No, but there is actually a serious connection here because the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra is coming.
They are.
And S&T Bank is a part of making that happen.
They are. In fact, this event wouldn't be happening without S&T Bank. They are sponsoring the upcoming performance of Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra that's happening on Monday, February 17th. And I was talking with Chris before the interview, and I told him I've been a presenter in higher education for over 20 years, and I've never seen a bank or any kind of sponsor step up the way that S&T has to bring Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra to Indiana. It really is a gift to our community.
And it's not just because Chris gets to wave the baton.
Correct.
Yeah, Chris will not be waving the baton. We bankers, we can write checks, but the baton waving goes to the artists.
The guys that know what they're doing with it.
Fantastic musicians. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, why is S&T Bank so interested? We see the charitable efforts. We talk all the time about S&T Bank and ICAP and the food bank and the various charitable efforts that go around. But the arts is a part of what S&T is about as well.
It absolutely is. You know, a bank, the health of a bank is dependent upon the health of the communities that it's in. And this is our headquarters here. We've been here for well over 120 years. And I personally have a relationship with the PSO and spent some time talking with the leadership team there about, you know, it's been a few years since you've been here to Indiana, and they didn't hesitate. And they're really excited to bring the entire orchestra out here on a Monday evening. Hopefully, it'll be a little warmer than it is right now. But you know, this is one of the top symphony orchestras in the entire world.
I think
not just in the United States, but within the entire world. And world-renowned group of musicians to be able to come here to Indiana. It's exciting for all of us.
Yeah, and their string section is the thing. Worldwide, the reputation of the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra's string section it's impeccable.
That's right. Yeah, and Manfred, their conductor, is known throughout the world. And I personally spent time with him talking about coming here. He couldn't have been more excited to bring everybody out. So it's not just a part of the orchestra. The entire orchestra is going to be here.
I think the last time they were here, Pinchas Zuckerman came with them.
He was.
Yeah. Kristen, for an organization such as the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra to come back and keep coming back to IUP says a lot about how they esteem what IUP does within the music community, the arts community as a whole.
Well, it's been very challenging, during the pandemic. We've been trying to pivot and get that audience back in. And, I think we're excited about this as a way to help get the word out about that the Lively Arts is still here. Mm-hmm. We're still doing great productions here in Indiana. And, to have a world-class symphony orchestra come to our little corner of the world, really, I'm very proud. Very proud to see that happen.
Do we have an idea of what pieces they're going to play?
I do. It'll be Carlos Simon's 4 Black American Dances, Camille Saint-Saëns, Concerto No. 3 in B minor for violin, and Antonin Dvorak's Symphony No. 9 in E minor, Opus 95 from A New World.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Isn't that the New World Symphony?
Yes.
Wow.
You know a little bit about all this.
A little bit, just a little bit. Can we convince them to do an encore of Rachmaninoff's Adagio from the Second Symphony?
I'll let you take the lead on that.
I'll do that. I'll get them on here in India. Maybe they could all gather around, just huddle here in the studio.
That's right. Exactly.
But it's such an amazing group of musicians, and whether you see them at Heinz Hall or anywhere else in the world, because they travel the world, Chris.
Yes, they just actually did a big tour. It's not an annual; it's more of a every 2-year tour. They were in Europe back in September, playing in some of the most important music festivals throughout Europe, and one of the few American orchestras that were there, and it's simply because of the reputation.
Yeah. And for them to come back to Indiana, we have the chance to see them at Heinz Hall when they're performing there. Maybe you are in Prague or some other world capital somewhere listening to the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra at some point in your life. But here you get to see them locally, right here in town.
Yeah, and for the layman who may not be up to speed on all things classical music, a comparison I would give to you, this would be like the Pittsburgh Pirates coming here to play a baseball game. Or
Let's make it the Yankees.
Yeah, but literally, a major league, top tier professional organization that's better than everybody in what they do, and so that's how significant this is. So I would urge those families with children who want to expose their children to the orchestra and seeing some real professionals, please find a way to come. I think, Kristen, tickets are moving.
They're moving. They're available now. I'd like to chime in on a couple other things that Chris was talking about. Not only is it a world-class orchestra, but it's happening in your own backyard.
Yeah.
You don't have parking fees. Our tickets are priced at a fraction of what they'd cost if you were going to Pittsburgh. And that's done thanks to the generosity of S&T that we can afford to price it.
Yeah.
That this is really an outreach opportunity, that if you've never been to a symphony orchestra, now's the time to come and hear it done right. And so basically you could have 2 adult tickets and 2 children tickets for less than $50.
That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
It's just tremendous. Chris, when S&T decides to jump in on something like this and invite an orchestra here that, the history, you mentioned Manfred Honeck, this is the orchestra that was led by Lauren Mizell for all those years, Andre Previn for all of those years. It's a big step for S&T Bank to do this. And you do it for the community. That's the thing.
We really do. I mean, we're proud. This is where we're headquartered. This is where our largest group of employees are, and as I said earlier, the health of Indiana determines the health of S&T Bank, and so giving back, it just is core to who we are and what we do. And again, we're honored to be able to have the resources and the connections and the relationships to be able to do something like this.
Yeah. So you mentioned, and I don't know how revealing you want to be about this, but you mentioned that you actually have a connection with the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah, so I'm actually on the PSO board of directors. I've been so for a couple of years. Christine Toretti, our board chair, is also on the board. So there's lots of Indiana connections with the PSO, and so I spend time trying to support the PSO when I'm doing the things associated with S&T Bank.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. It really is amazing. The organization itself, the number of world-class musicians who, Kristen, want to be a part of that orchestra, and yet here they come to Indiana.
And if I could add one thing really quick, as a part of this, we're doing some educational outreach opportunities. So not only are we going to have this lovely concert, our outreach director, Jeff Wacker, who's going to come on and talk about this in I think a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We're having master classes, and local band students from high school and IUP will be coming to have a master class in all these different sections with PSO orchestra musicians.
How about that?
It's amazing, all the wonderful things happening as a result of this partnership.
Yeah, you stop and think, it's not just a matter of them getting on a bus and driving here.
No, many of them will actually be spending the night just simply because of the distance, and it's usually Monday's an off day.
Yeah.
Right? They will have played
Yeah.
many performances throughout the weekend, and it's a significant weekend coming in and around Valentine's Day and all of that, and then they'll all be they'll be getting on a couple of buses or driving out here themselves.
I would be really fascinating. To me, it would be fascinating to ask somebody, when you have extreme cold temperatures like this, what does it do to your instrument and that you want to continue to get that beautiful sound out of it, and humidity and temperature and all of those different factors that go into making a single instrument sound the way that it does, and then you blend it into an entire orchestral setting. That'd be just a fascinating thing to find out.
It would
just to talk with them.
Well,
inside baseball.
In these, you were speaking about the string section. Many of these violins and cellos and everything are hundreds of years old.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
true.
I've held one that was from 1725 or something like that, and it actually scares me a little bit the way they carry these instruments around.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to even put my hands on it. But I would think that they've seen a lot.
Well, I know that anybody in the brass section would not want to be putting their lips on it in this weather.
That's exactly right.
They wouldn't come off for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a wonderful performance. Kristen, again, give us the ticket information.
Well, again, it's happening Monday, February 17th at 7:30 p.m. here in Indiana, Pennsylvania, in Fisher Auditorium. People can purchase tickets online at iup.edu/livelyarts. They're also welcome to give us a call, 724-357-2787 in our box office.
There you go. Get your tickets now, because
Please,
this is the top of the line right here, and S&T Bank is right there making it happen. Thanks so much to both of you for coming in.
Thanks.
Appreciate the time.
Very much.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Fox News coming up, and then it's another visit, our last visit of the